Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and as you can see, it's a full Earth out tonight. Oh, so we've got the tower welded up, we've got everything configured, and today we are going to be building the actual landing pad docking areas. But first, we have to get started, so let's go. So, happy Friday, everybody. I apologize for the dark screen. I did time accelerate so that the sun should be coming up over that hill in, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes or so. Oh, so hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day and had a terrific week thus far. We are back in Space Engineers, and I just grabbed the wrong... Wow. Yes, it has been a rather long week. Grab a couple hundred of these things here. Oh, I think that's everything that we really need. We'll grab a couple of these too, just in case. Alright, hey, look at that, the sun's coming up. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding some docking areas up here on top of the tower because we need spaces big enough for both the new ship as well as the old ship, and I want to have these set up so that we'll be able to land them up there. And I'm thinking for the new ship, for this guy, because we don't have a connector on the bottom. I mean, we could put one in. Let's turn the light on here until the sun catches up with us. We could take this piston head off and put a connector on there, but that's going to actually have the connector extend down below the rest of the line of the ship, so it's just kind of stuck there. What I'm thinking we're going to do is, as part of the renovations on the ship, we're going to take this connector off, put a conveyor junction in, and then we'll have one connector down and one connector pointing aft like we have now. And that'll also give us a place to better attach and more permanently attach the landing gear that we're using. So we do have renovation plans for the ship, and we'll actually get into those next week, probably Monday's video. I want to start renovating this thing, mainly so that we can actually, make it a little bit more comfortable and useful. But that's getting ahead of what we're doing. So for today, what we did, like I said, is we've gone ahead, we've welded everything up. We've welded up the windows, and I've even welded up the walkway, all the stairs and everything inside the tower. So we now have lighting in there. The entire thing is pressurized, as is the little umbilical between the tower and the base. So the entire thing is pressurized, and it is actually holding an atmosphere, so that's the important part. Now, one of the things that I did a little bit different is with the airlock. So I've talked about this in the past. There's a couple of different ways to do these side-by-side door airlocks. And you can actually do this with the sliding doors as well. I just don't tend to do that because in order to get those airtight, you have to actually use 6 total blocks. It's the 2 door blocks and 4 wall blocks, either full blocks or half blocks, faced to the door, in order to make something airtight. So these are this is what I use for the most compact airlock. Now, you do have a choice in how you use these. And what I've done for this one is we've put the doors on the same face, so that, and we did that in every direction. And what this does is that when you depressurize it, I'll show you, you don't actually get the atmosphere ejection. So because of the way that air pressure and the air tightness works, and the way that the volume system works for the gas, because these blocks are directly next to each other, the air fort, like the air tightness, actually ends roughly at the door. So when you open this door, the other block is technically considered to be outside. So the air doesn't backfill that little door, that little space that you have in there. And so we've gone ahead and done that on all of these. Now, I do use this sometimes. I haven't been using it on a lot of my builds, and I don't know if I'll continue using it outside of the base. The reason I'm using it for the base is just because I wanted something that was a little bit more, I guess you could say like spaceport themed. And I like the larger airlocks, but I think that that is actually something more fitting for ships than that is. But you never know. Let me know what you think. Do you like that airlock better than the airlock system we're using over here, like over here, where we have, you know, considerably more space? Or do you think that we should flip these to mirror what we have on the station as well? Some homework for you down in the comments section. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and get in here with some of this stuff. We're gonna actually do, okay, first turn that off. Got to reposition my mouth so that we're not making everybody motion sick. All right, so we're gonna bring that out 3. And we are going to deal with the big ship first, right? So if you remember, these things are 1, 2, 3, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this thing is 12 blocks wide. And I want to say it's like 22 or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's close. So it's, what did we say, 13 by 18? Not too bad. Now this is going to be important because what we're going to do is we're going to play with the system here a little bit. So we're going to do I want to do that, or do I want to go ahead and do
energy low?
I think we want to go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead. Let's grab one of those. Grab one of those. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3. Let's go 4. That's going to give us 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so I do want this asymmetrical. These are basically going to extend out further on this one side. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to run this. Alright. It's a shame we don't have T connectors for conveyors, for junctions there. Do I want to take this one more? Because we're going to have to add... So that's going to be the actual. And then... I'm going to place a block there. And we're going to place one here. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have edge blocks running down the side of this. What do I want? I want blast doors. Let's go ahead and get that off there for right now. We're not to that point yet. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Energy
6,
critical.
12, 13. Yes. And if we go from here, should meet up with everything else. And we're going to have to go grab some power here in a second. Which is fine. Come on, there we go. Okay. So that's basically the size of the pad that we're talking about having on here. And this is one of the reasons why when I'm building elevated pieces, I will usually go with more of a like a tether spire, if you know what I'm referring to there. For those who don't know, it would basically be an armature that would come out, and basically would come out to this point. So you would have walkways straight from there all the way out to here, and then under that we would have, you know, the piping, and then at the end of the pipe we would have multiple connector areas, just depending on where we were trying to connect to. Since we're connecting to the bottom part of the Pegasus over there, whatever we want to call that. We still haven't named the ship, so we still need to come up with a name for it. But so since that one does have a connector on the bottom, we would have, you know, we'd figure out where the distance was out to it, and we would have the connector be basically facing up. Whoa, we're out of power. Quick, get inside. Get inside.
No energy.
Oh. See, that's one of the nice things about this whole place being pressurized. Alright. Oh. Oh, and I just realized, I don't think I've given folks the final tour on the base, have I? We have the reception area. Well, we're here anyway. We've gone inside the reception area. I haven't done like the painting and stuff in here. Everything is still the bland white. You have your medical area. You have the medical professional's office. And then we went ahead and put the slats in, so the idea is that, you know, if you're in here showering, you just close those. It's fine, right? If you're really worried about somebody outside. If you have a peeping Tom on the moon, you've got larger issues. So the kitchen space, we did go ahead and leave this area as it was. We took that window out and, you know, put a wall in there. And then in the engineer's quarters, the engineer's got a desk, and everything else is basically a mirror of what you have over in the captain's quarters. So, it works. It actually worked out really well. And everyone's got a bathroom, so. Now, you come over here, this is the engineering bay. And like I said, not a whole lot changed in here. We did go ahead and just put the light down here on the ground. Ended up making this actually work really, really well as a command center. Now, one of the things I haven't done yet is I don't think I've got one of these running the solar, I believe, and then one running, that one's the doors and this one's the solar. Okay, so what we'll need to do is I'll need to add another programmable block, but I'm not sure where I'm gonna put it. I will probably hide it somewhere, maybe under the base or something. I would put it behind this block, but behind this block is a battery. Oh, you know what I could do? I could actually... Let's close that. You're closed. Yes, yes, okay. You are there. Okay. What I'm thinking is we'll go ahead and put a programmable block right here. Yeah, no, we're jumping all over the place. See? Alright. That should work. And what I'll do is I'll come back and probably... Actually... just go ahead and do it now. That's what I say. What I was going to say is I'll probably come back and do that, but yeah, because it gets rid of the lines under the walls and everything. It just cleans up the appearance a little bit. And we have enough O2. I'm not worried about it, especially since we've got the oxygen farms on board. And then that particular programmable block will be our LCD drivers. So what I may end up doing is I may, as much as I don't want to do this, I may drain that battery, take the battery out, and move the battery here and put the programmable block in there, so then we have all of our programmable blocks pretty much side by side. Actually, if I do that, no, it'll be hidden behind the door, and I want it exposed. So yeah, no, we'll leave everything like it is. That's fine. Okay, and we'll refill that. We can get rid of the programmable block. And what did we have on there? Blast doors. No, not blasty doors. Blast doors. There we go. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay. Whee! There we go. Alright, so now we have to... Actually... we just have to fill this in, which is actually the ridiculously easy part. It's just the really tedious one. It's because it's just that. Gimme. Thank you. And so we're going to go ahead and fill most of... Actually, we're going to go ahead and fill all of this in. Come to think of it. Mainly because of the fact that I want to be able to go ahead and bring back, we'll bring the ship up, figure out where our connector needs to go. So since it's in the middle, we know that it's going to go on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to go on this line here. Yes. We just don't know how far forward it needs to go. We said this was 18 from there. So 17, 16, 15. All right, so 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Needs to go in 12. All right. So that's 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, and 12. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a quick encapsulate here. Alright, so that's where the connector is going to go. Go ahead and get a few more of these in just to get this stuff mostly tidied up. Alright, that should be good for now. From here we're going to go connect that. And this will give us a better idea of where things need to be, and what may end up happening. It sounds like something just popped. Huh. So what we may end up doing is, I don't know if I mean, I guess technically it should be far enough back. Should be, yeah, no, should fit. Okay. So we should be able to actually do walkway all the way around this thing. So in this case, we will have something that goes something like this. And then over here, we'll continue this line. Whoopsie. Got it. Alright, and you come out. There you go. Alright, and there we go. One there. And one there. And then basically we'll have that continue all the way down on both sides and then wrap around it one at the other end. I've thought about leaving this without the railing, but I figure I actually kind of like the way the whole thing came together with it, so we're going to use it. I am almost tempted, and I have gone back and forth on this a couple of times, having external stairs. So basically we would have a stair system off on one side of this that would come down and then wrap back and forth. Because we're going to put in, I'm thinking we're going to put in some pillars. So we'll have these guys, so we don't need that right now. On, let's see if we do this, because we're talking about having something like that. How do I want to do the corners is the question. What I may do is we just do this. So we'll end up with something like this on both sides. Now, one of the things I had thought about doing was doing something a little bit different. Because then we can go boop, like that. I thought about playing around with stuff like this. I want the 3x? No. I want the 1x's. Because if you do these without welding them up, you get something that looks like that. So it's a little bit heftier looking for support. Yep. And then we can still do the come on, we can still do that. So you end up with something that looks a little bit sturdier, right? Because even when these are welded up, what do you need for these? So even when those are welded up, I mean it's a pylon, and if you weld these up one stage, you end up with that, which I personally think looks a little bit more industrial. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and weld both of these all the way up. Really only need the steel plates for this. Alright. So let me know what you think about that. You know what the pylons are going to look like. Now you know what that's going to look like. And like I said, I think that I like this a little bit better for some applications. I don't build with this on camera a lot, but this is one of the things that I have used in some of my off-camera tricks. So, but yeah, like I said, let me know. Let me know what you think. Now, what I'm thinking for these guys is we're going to keep this fairly straight and simple. We're just going to do these because we don't need a whole lot there. They're not even, I don't even think I'm going to weld those up. I think we're just going to leave them unwelded. And now that we have that holding it, We can... That. There we go. And we can go ahead and start doing this kind of stuff. Now we can bring in, there are blocks that will give us a the churn we want for this corner. For now, we're just gonna go ahead and throw some placeholders in because we can. And you're gonna be that way. And what I'm thinking here is that what we could do, bring in that, and I want that. Because if we do this, take you out for a second, rotate you there, right? And so that ties the corner blocks in a little bit better. They don't look like they're just kind of hanging out now. See? I think I like that a little bit. I think we'll end up using that. Alright, so let's go ahead, we'll get the rest of these cleaned up. We'll there you go. Get the last few in. And I think what we'll do is I'll do a quick cut here. We'll get the rest of these put in. We'll get the rest of the blocks, the blast door blocks in. And we'll come back, take a look, see what we've got. Alright, so yeah, we'll do that cut and I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so we have, as you can see, looks like we have everything in place. Okay, so we haven't brought any parts up here to weld this stuff up. Basically, I just wanted to get an idea for if this was going to work the way I wanted it to. Still want your feedback on those columns, and I'm thinking I may actually do, so whatever column style we decide on, right, that the community likes, that's what we're going to do, and I'll do it, I'm thinking, in all four corners. I may not do it on this corner, I may only do it over here. But I don't know, because if we do it in this corner, we're going to end up with a pylon that ends up here. So, I mean, I guess that could work. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But, like I said, let me know which of those two pylon styles you like. Let me grab you really quick. Alright. So what I want to do now is I'm going to bring this over. Because I want to make sure that everything's going to fit the way we expect it to. So things on auto. Now this isn't going to be a actual land on the thing. We're just trying to get it to make sure everything is going to fit where we think it's going to fit. Playing a little bit of a different game, and I almost hit the wrong camera wrong camera button. Oh, okay, so that should put us about in the middle, right? Yeah, that looks like that's gonna actually work really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to land this thing back here. do think that I like the wheels a little bit. Alright. Come on. Ah. Helps if I hit the right button. Everything looks locked. Yeah, close enough. Close enough for government work. Okay. Let's head out of here. Suddenly everything seems to be slightly off balance. Works for me. Okay. Alright, so what we need to do now is plan our line back for the conveyor line. So the question that we're gonna have is, do we want... I think what we'll do, honestly, I think... unable to place is that. Damn. Alright. So I will need... I mean, I guess it's not that bad of an issue. I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? Do that. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Drop you out for a second, bring you back. Do that. And that. Alright. And then what that allows us to do is basically run this down the center. And the reason we want to do this is a couple-fold, actually. One, it ends up being less blocks since we're not going off to the side here and then down. The other one is that if for some reason we need to come back later, and let's say we don't have the big ship, we have a different ship, and we need to put a connector in somewhere else for some reason, it gives us a little bit more flexibility in what we do with that. Alright. And then for that ship is going to be a pain. Alright, so from here, let's bring this over. What is that? One more, right? Yeah. So we do that. 2, 3, and then that'll be... Do I have... I don't have motors or small tubes. What would I need for that? I need 6 motors versus 6 motors, so that's fine. 12. So I'd need tubes. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab those really quick. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to take you out for a second, put you in. We'd have to do this anyway because we're going to have a another line coming off and wrapping around and going out. So that's fine. Not too worried about that. Go ahead and get these welded up. And that. We're just trying to get some of the good stuff in here. And part of this is for those who have been playing long enough. You know, I turned that off. Okay, and we're going to name this, I don't know, what direction are we facing here? Northwest. Try that again. Northwest. Alright. And with the naming convention, one of the things that we're going to be doing with the LCDs is we're going to have a monitoring system that will basically be tied to all the connectors, including anything that we put down on the actual base area. And we'll have a display in the engineering room that will tell us the status of all those connectors. You know, whether or not there's something connected to it. Alright, so I think that's this one. And then for this one, how do we want to do this? I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I definitely want something over here. But we'll leave that for right now. Because there's going to be a third vehicle. And I don't know, I haven't decided yet which way I want to take that design. Right, so what we'll do is we'll do this. And we're doing that because we want some stairs. Actually, let's go. Can I get away with... I think what we'll do is if we go something like that, can I get that? I may not be able to get what I want there. I can sometimes get this to work, but I don't think it's going to let me get away with it this time. Nope. Okay. So we have to cheat it a little bit. No one tell Keen that we can do that, because they'll take it out. So we have this one's going to come up a little bit. And I was actually tempted to do ladders all the way down, because I thought that would be kind of interesting. What we can do. I'm probably going to lose the air pressure in there, but... Oh, no. Perfect. Okay. Let's... Since we did that everywhere else... Go ahead and get that in there. Look at you. Like a proper space station, right? Now, do I want to bring this up 2 flights? I might bring this up 2 flights. Oh no. Alright, I just noticed how long we've been here today, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. Alright, so homework for everybody. Do we want that to go up another set of stairs, or just the single flight? And the other question is going to be, which pylon system do you like the look of better? Do you like the wheels, or do you like the actual pillar? Now I could also do, actually, should be able to do these if we really wanted to just go like completely silly. We could do something like this. Why did you? Come on. So yeah, like I was saying, we could do something like that and just not weld them up at all, which I'm actually fine with. But see, here's the problem that you run into with that, is you eventually get to the point where you can't place it because of the ground. Oh, but so you'll let me place it like this. That is the stupidest. I guess what we could do is, if we wanted to do that, could do something like this, or maybe a combination of things. Why am I unable to place that block? Is that because it's because it's the pistons. Separate grids. Alright.
Energy low.
So I can do it. It'll take a little bit of jury rigging, but yeah. But I'm thinking we'll probably end up with those. Man, I guess I could actually do something like with rotor heads or something too. You can get pretty interesting designs out of the whole thing if you're willing to play around with the weld states and the block shapes. So if you have any better ideas or just different ideas that you think might look nice, be sure to throw those down in the section. Like I said, give me your feedback on if you like one of those pylon pillar stacks better than the others, and what you think about the landing pad. I mean, it's pretty simple, but you know, doesn't need to be anything overly complex, right? It would be nice, and I'll have to see. I know there's a mod. There's one of the mods that are out and available for Space Engineers allows you to have a finished block that looks like the various weld states. So you place this thing, and it has, you know, if it's a blast door block, it'll have, you know, the whatever the was that 140 or something like that, right? Yeah, 140 steel plates, but it'll look like it's like in that or the next stage. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if that, I don't actually have to check and see if that mod's still there. It may not be there anymore. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, we're gonna get out of here. I want to thank you all for stopping in. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button.
Energy.
If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw those down in the section below. I do appreciate the feedback, especially since I'm asking for, you know, which one of these designs do you like better. Because if you don't decide, I will, and you'll probably not like my decision. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, haven't done so already, and you just want to do something nice for me, or just want to do something nice for me on this lovely Friday, be sure to hit that subscribe. And if you want to be kept up to date, YouTube promises that they will sometimes think about sending messages if you click that little bell icon. You know, it's supposed to be for notifications. Yeah, it's YouTube. We'll leave it at that. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Have a fabulous weekend. And we'll see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. See, this tower, it's not actually that long of a walk down. It's not that bad. I have to say, I actually, I think I actually like the manual process of that.